Reading Srimad Bhagavatam 4:29-21. Samvatsaras-chandavega Kalo yeno palakshitah Tasyaha niha gandharva Gandharvyo ratriya smritah Arantyahu parikrantya Sasti uthara satatrayam Samvatsaraha a year Chandavegaha Chandavega Kalaha time Yena by which Upalakshitaha symbolized Tasya of the duration of life Ahani days Iha in this life Gandharvas Gandharvyaha Gandharvis Ratriyaha nights Smitaha understood Haranti they take away Ayuhu duration of life Parikrantya by traveling Sasti 60 Uttara above Satam 100 Trayam 3. Translation: what was previously explained as Chandavega, powerful time, is covered by days and nights, named Gandharvas and Gandharvis. The body lifespan is gradually reduced by the passage of days and nights, which number 360. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The word parikrantya means by travelling. The living entity travels on its chariot day and night during a year consisting of 360 or more days and nights. Life's progress is taken for the unnecessary labour required to cover this 360 days and nights of life. Kalakanya jara sakshav Lokastam na binanditi swasaram jakrehe mrityuhu chayaya yavaneswaraha. What was described as Kalakanya should be understood as old age. No one wants to accept old age, but Yavaneswara, Yavanaraj who is that accepts Jara, old age, as his sister. Engaged in the body, the living being accepts Kalakanya, old age, just before death. Yavaneswara is the emblem of death, Yamaraj. Before going to the place of Yamaraj, the living entity accepts Jara, old age, the sister of Yamaraj. One is subject to the influence of Yavanaraj and his sister due to impious activity. Those in Krishna consciousness and are engaged in devotional service under the instruction of Narada Muni are not subject to the influence of Yamaraj and his sister Jara. If one is Krishna conscious, he conquers death. After leaving the material body, he does not accept another body. That is material, but returns home back to Godhead. This is verified in the Bhagavad Gita 4:9. Adyo vyadayastasya sainika yavanachara bhutopasarga sarga surayaha prajvaro dvividho jvaraha एवं भव विद्या दुखे देवभूतात्म संभवे क्लेश्यमान सतम वर्षम देह देहि तमो वृतः प्राणेन्द्रिया मनोधर्मम आत्मन्यध्यास्य निर्गुणः सेते काम लवन ध्यायन मामहम इति कर्मकृत्. The followers of Yavaneswara Yamaraj are called the soldiers of death, and they are known as the various types of disturbance that pertain to the body and mind. Prajvara represent two types of fever, extreme heat and extreme cold, typhoid and pneumonia. The living entity lying down within the body is disturbed by many tribulations pertaining to providence, to other living entities, to his own body and mind. Despite all kinds of tribulations, the living entity is exact necessity of the body, mind and senses, and suffering from various types of disease, carried away by many plans due to his lust to enjoy the world. Although transcendental to this material existence, the living entity, out of ignorance, accepts all these material miseries under the pretext of false egoism, I and mine. In this way he lives for 100 years within this body. Purport. In the Vedas it is said that asango here I am Purushaha. The living entity is actually separate from material existence, for the soul is not material. In the Bhagavad Gita it is also said that the living entity is superior energy and the material elements, earth, water, fire, air and so on are in the other inferior energy. The material elements are described as Bina or separated energy. When the internal or superior energy comes in contact with the external energy, it is subject to so many tribulations. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.14, the Lord says, Matras passes to Kauntaya, Shitosna Sukha Dukkha Daha. Because of the material body, the living entity is subject to many tribulations brought about by air, water, fire, extreme heat, extreme cold, sunshine, extreme heat, excessive eating, unhealthy food, maladjustment of the three elements of the body, kapha, pitta and vayu and so on. The intestine, the throat, the brain and the other parts of the body are affected by all kinds of disease that are so powerful that they become source of extreme suffering for the living entity. The living entity, however, is different from all these material elements. The two types of fever described in this verse can be explained in contemporary languages, pneumonia and typhoid. When there is an extreme fever in the body, there is typhoid and pneumonia, and they are described as prajvara. There are also other miseries created by other living entities, the state exact taxes. There are also many thieves, rogues and cheaters. Miseries brought about by other living entities are called adhibhautika. There are also miseries in the form of famine, pestilence, scarcity, war, earthquakes and so on. These are caused by the demigods or other sources beyond our control. Actually, there are many enemies of the living entities, and they are all described to point out how miserable this material existence is. Knowing the basic misery of material existence, one should be induced to get out of the material clutches and return home back to Godhead. Actually, the living entity is not at all happy in the material body. Because of the body, he suffers thirst and hunger and is influenced by the mind, by words, by anger, by belly, by the genital, by the rectum and so on. Manifold miseries encircle the transcendental living entity simply because he desires to satisfy his senses in this material world. If he simply withdraws from activities of sense gratification and apply his senses in the service of the Lord, all the problems of material existence will immediately diminish, and with the advancement of Krishna consciousness he will be freed from all tribulation, and after giving up the body will return home back to Godhead. Om Ajnanatirandasya Gnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshazan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamam Didati Swakarandikam Deham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Continue reading this chapter. King Puranjan, how the lyrically stories. Narada is trying to enlighten him because he is completely caught in Maya, doing all kind of sacrifice, killing animals, and so many things. So here it is explained that how the material body, which we all are trapped in, although we are trying to enjoy it, it is causing us a lot of miseries. Yes? नित्य बड़ा कृष्ण है ते नित्य बहिर्मुख नित्य संसार पूंजन नरकादि दुख. Apart from the ever liberated devotees, they are conditioned souls who always turn away from the service of the Lord. They are perpetually conditioned in the material world and subject to material tribulation, brought about by different bodily forms in hellish conditions. So this is the position of the living entity who have turned away from Krishna. Jai Shri Radha. So we are talking about the conditioned soul who are in perpetual miseries, as Krishna said, that the living entities in this material world, what? Temporary and misery. Okay? Bhagavad Gita, correct? Yes? What chapter? Chapter 8, what? 8 what? 8:16. 8:15. Saswatam what? Dukhalayam ashashvatam. 8:15. I'll show you. So in the Bhagavad Gita it says here, Mamopetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. So here Krishna is labeled, after telling me the great souls who are all yogis in devotion never return to this temporal world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. So this world is full, it is temporary and it is miserable. Yes? So this is already explained by Krishna. Due to his being opposed to Krishna consciousness, the conditioned soul is punished by the witch of external energy Maya. He is thus ready to suffer the threefold miseries. Miseries brought about by the body and mind, the inimical behavior of other living entities, and natural disturbance caused by the demigods. So this is how he is put into misery. It is technically called Adi Atmik, Adi Bhautik and Adi Daivik. Three miseries exerted by the three modes of material nature under the influence of Maya. So when he goes into miseries, he is not actually in happy stage. So he is subject to birth, death, old age and disease. So the living entity is in perpetual problem. Correct?
The exact verse is there. Bhagavatam, 7:13:31. Exact verse. 7:13:31.
Thirteen. Materialistic activities are always mixed with three kinds of miserable conditions: Adhyatmic, Adidaivik and Adi Bhautik. Therefore, even if one achieves some success by performing such activities, what is the benefit of this success? But he is still subject to birth, death, old age, disease and the reaction of his fruitive activities. See? According to the materialistic way of life, the poor man, after laboring very, very hard, gets some material profit at the end of his life, is considered a success. Even though he again dies while suffering the threefold miseries, Adhyatmik, Adidaivik and Adidautik, no one can escape the threefold miseries of material life, namely miseries pertaining to the body and mind, miseries pertaining to difficulties imposed by society, community, nation and other living entities, and misery inflicted upon us by natural disturbance from earthquake, famine, drought, flood, epidemic. See that? Epidemic. Now they put a new word, pandemic. I never heard this word before. Pandemic. They started something new. And so on. If one works very hard, suffering the threefold miseries, and then is successful in getting some small benefit, what is the value of this benefit? Besides that, even if a karmi is successful in accumulating some material wealth, he still cannot enjoy it, for he must die in bereavement. I have even seen a dying man begging a medical attendant to increase his life by 4 years so that he could complete his material plans. Of course, the medical man was unsuccessful in expanding the life of the man, who therefore died in great bereavement. Everyone must die in this way, and after one's mental condition is taken into account by the laws of material nature, he is given another chance to fulfill his desires in a different body. Material plans for material happiness have no value, but under the spell of the illusory energy, we consider them extremely valuable. There are many politicians, social reformers and philosophers who died very miserably without deriving any practical value from their material plans. Therefore, a sane and sensible man never desires to work hard under the conditions of the threefold miseries, only to die in disappointment. So this is the sum and substance of material life. A material life means miseries and making plans. What is that verse? Hope against hope. Durasya by Arthamanina. 7?
7:5:31.
Again, this 7, 13, 31 and 7, 5, 31. Looks like we are on a series. On the 7 series. So you see, this verse is Prahlad Maharaj spoke. Nate vidu swartha gati me Vishnu durashaya. You see the word durashaya means? Ashaya means what? Asa means what? Hope. Correct? Asa means desires and hope, right? So durashaya means what? Hope that cannot be fulfilled. See? Ye bahiratamanina anda yatanda upaniyamana tepi santriyam urudami badaha. So, persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense object cannot understand that the real goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As the blind man guided by another blind man meets the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached man led by another materially attached man are bound by the roots of fatigue and labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold of misery. This is misery. What do you say? What is they say they call it? Children? What is the word they use? Happiness, what? Burden of what? Love, huh? Is that the word? Burden of? Burden but of love, right? Yes? Isn't it? So we can see here how miserable when a person does not know Krishna is God and the aim of life to surrender to Him, then he will go through miseries. Right? Isn't it? This material body is subject to miseries. Especially when you grow older and older. Right? Isn't it? Disease. Today's subject, disease. How the disease comes about?
Desire.
What?
Desire.
Desire. Desire. You desire to get disease. How does it work? You desire to get disease. Nobody desire to get disease. Yes? Correct. So it does not come from desire. How does it come? Actually, when a person engages so much in the mode of passion and ignorance, then he is subject to disease. Actually, the society, everyone is in the mode of passion and ignorance. Understand? Explained here in this verse. In this verse you can see So when they get into this kind of a condition, so you see here, we should discern the mode of passion by the symptom, the distortion of the intelligence because of too much activity. Yeah? See, when you get so much into action, intelligence get what? Distorted. Because of too much activity. Well, you can see their timetable, 8 o'clock, you see your program, 8 o'clock, appointment, 9 at 10, so then they think, wow, they really, wow, I'm an ass. I'm a real good ass. Because see, I'm working, from 8 o'clock appointment, 9 o'clock appointment, lunch break, lunch meeting, wow, this guy is really, see what happens if you do that? You lose your brain. You lose your brain. That's what it means. Too much activity means distortion of the brain. Simple language, correct? The inability to perceive, the inability of the perceiving senses to disentangle themselves from mundane objects. In other words, you won't be able to what? Control your mind, the senses. You cannot control that. Because sense control means what? Senses act as sense object. Bhagavad Gita, no? You heard, right? Correct? So when the senses cannot the mind cannot detach himself from sense gratification because the senses are overwhelming. This is what happens. From mundane object. And you see this one, a very important line, an unhealthy condition of the working physical organs. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Disease. Disease.
That means if you go into the mode of passion, your brain gets cooked. You cannot control your senses, correct? And you are subject to disease. You are opening the floodgate to get diseases, and your brain you cannot control. You see how this works, very scientific. And you see, you talk to anybody, depression. That's the word they use. I'm depressed. What does that mean? What does that mean? You mean you're sick? If you go into the mode of passion, means you will become sick. Correct? Yes or not? Not only that, you see here, in other words, foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry and burning are due to those in the mode of passion. Such food causes distress, misery and disease. Tahu sambal. I think all the Indians don't know this thing, only the Malaysians know this. It means eating very hot. This is, see, burning, burning Prabhu. See how it affects the consciousness. Taking so much chili, dangerous. Can you see all written here? See how our society is going in this direction. Yes? Eating all kind of pungent food, working and very, what? Working like an ass? Yes or no? How everything is so detrimental. So, detrimental. So you get disease. When you get disease, then how you can think properly? You cannot spiritually. Correct? So the solution is to come to the mode of goodness. And from goodness transcend to the mode of transcendental goodness. Only then you can become free. Body gets healthy, you see. So in one word before. Food that are dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purifies one existence and gives strength, health, happiness and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome and pleasing to the heart. What does this mean? What does it mean? Prasad? Correct? What does it mean? Prasade sarva dukhanam. When you take prasadam, sarva dukhanam. Honey, hasyopajayate. It destroys all these miseries. Yes? Correct? Yes or not? So, if you don't come to Krishna consciousness, then you're opening yourself to a lot of problems. Problem with the mind, problem with other people's mind, problem with the demigods, problem with the food, problem with the body, problem with the what? Just now we read, the senses out of control, the intelligence gets played out. I mean, everything goes haywire. Yes or not? Yes or not? You cannot become healthy mentally, physically, spiritually. Finish. You understand? In other words, if you don't take up the spiritual program, your condition is bad. And you get all the bad qualities. You get all the bad qualities. What are the bad qualities you get? Always thinking of money. Thinking of what? Mode of passion is what? Money, correct? Yes? This is what happens, you always think of money, day and night, money, 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 running after that mode of passion. These are the qualities you get. Theft. Because money just, so when money comes, then you think trying to what? How to steal, how to cheat someone. commit violence, speaking lies, duplicity, lust, anger, perplexity, pride, quarreling, enmity, faithlessness, envy, and dangers caused by women, gambling, intoxication are 15 undesirable qualities that contaminate man because of greed for wealth. Although these qualities are undesirable, man falsely ascribes value to them. One desiring to achieve the real benefit of life should therefore remain aloof from undesirable material wealth. This is the mode of passion. The mode of passion is what? Taking how to make money, every day money, 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 yes. Undesirable health. Everything goes haywire. See how the whole thing is very... not only that, we've explained. All the demigods and the exalted qualities such as religion, knowledge and renouncing become manifest in the body of one who develop unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activity has no good qualities. Even if he adapt in the practice of mystery yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculation and must be engaged in the service of the Lord external energy. How can there be any good quality in such a man? That means you are what? It's cursed. You forget it. You cannot become happy without Krishna. You understand this? This is not possible. You cannot develop. If we say cannot develop, you can develop. They have this philosophy, no, as long as morally upright. What? How to become morally upright? How? Without strength from Krishna, you can fight Krishna's Maya? Devi is guna Maya, Mama Maya? Turat, you cannot overcome my Maya. Let's forget it. With good intelligence, good brain, it doesn't work. So many guys with good brain, they are caught doing so many crazy things. Yes or no? No, this shows. That's why I say, how can they have any good quality? They cannot. The word is what? Cannot. Unless and until we catch hold of Krishna and Krishna's devotee's lotus feet, we cannot make any advance. In fact, this is producing adverse effect. You also will become, explain here, when consciousness is fixed on material body, home and other similar objects of sense gratification, one spends one life chasing after material object with the help of the senses. Consciousness, thus powerfully affected by the mode of passion, become dedicated to impermanent things, and in this way irreligion, ignorance, attachment and wretchedness arise. This is what's happening in Kali. Yes, you see, one thing after another thing after another. Body gets crazy, right? Society gets off, everything becomes misplaced. That's why it's so dangerous to increase this mode of. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, what the enemy? This is your enemy. He has given clue. But we are embracing lust. We are what? Sitting very happily with our enemy. Correct? Yes? You understand? So therefore, we should try to be very careful. Of course, now I have explained all these things, so we have to become Krishna conscious, correct? Yes? That's why we have to wake up in the morning, we have to attend Mangalarti, we have to do all the things that our spiritual masters say, yes? So that we will come to the mode of goodness and then when one's peaceful consciousness is strengthened by the mode of goodness, is fixed on the personality of Godhead, one achieves religiosity, knowledge and detachment and opulence. See this point? When you attach to the Lord, then one's peaceful consciousness, you can only become peaceful if you attach to the Lord. That is explained here in the Bhagavad Gita, we quote many times. We quote this many times, this verse. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor steady mind. Without which there is no possibility of peace. How can there be any happiness without peace? It is not possible if you are not connected to period. Understand? So here says, when one's peaceful consciousness strengthened by the mode of God is fixed on the personality of Godhead, who? Krishna. That's it. One achieves religiosity, knowledge, detachment and opulence. If you are chasing for all kind of nonsense and going into the mode of passion, forget it. What? Forget it. In Kali Yuga, your lifespan is going to be how long? How much? Maximum? Forget it. 30 years old already they are going to kill you. They have started their program. Oh, they are going to kill you before you reach even 30. Yes? Yes or no? See now? All India is crying. Wow, what a severe bad luck here. Everybody is trying to run. Some guys are hiring private jets and running out. Yesterday I was speaking, I said, where is he running? He is running to Dubai. Yeah? And if Dubai gets it, then what happened? Bye-bye. Understand? This is what's going to happen. Correct? You cannot, as Krishna says, and this verse, it is not possible. It is not possible. See that? Matyu mrityu vyala biti palayan lokam sarvam nirbhayam na adyagachat tvat padabjam prapya yatrachya yadya susta sete mrityu asmat apete. That is translation. See that? Different planet they are running. No one in this material world has become free from the four principles of birth, death, old age and death, even by fleeing to various planets. What to speak of various countries? Forget it. You cannot make it. Right? But now that you have appeared, my Lord, Death is fleeing in fear of you, and the living entities having obtained shelter at your lotus feet, by your mercy are sleeping in full mental peace. So try to understand that is no go if you are not going to have come Krishna conscious. You will get disease. Many people, they always they die from what? Pneumonia. Right? Or typhoid. Typhoid is too much eating bad, the body heat is too much. Then you die. Body heat is too cold, also die. Correct? The two diseases. Now it is the what? That is what is called this? COVID-19, right? It is a pneumonia-like disease. Yes or no? The failure of the excessive eating. When you eat all kind of hot stuff, mucus in the stomach is what? Reduced. And when mucus is reduced, disease will come. Passionate food. Correct? Common sense. So there is another kind of disease for the devotees. What is that disease, the devotees? Devotees have another kind of disease. Of course they think, oh, I am safe, I am having Krishna, alright. There is another kind of disease for the devotees. Huh? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further inquired from Haridas, can you ascertain what your disease is? Haridas replied, my disease is that I cannot complete my rounds. Huh? This is the spiritual disease. Correct? Purport. If one cannot complete the fixed number of rounds is assigned, he should be considered to be in a diseased condition of spiritual life. You understand? Huh? Srila Haridas Thakur called Namacharya, of course we cannot imitate Haridas Thakur. But everyone must chant a prescribed number of rounds. In our Krishna conscious movement, we have fixed 16 rounds as the minimum so that the Westerners will not feel burdened. This 16 round must be chanted loudly so that one can hear himself and others. So if you cannot do, not only chanting, if you cannot do all the spiritual program given by the spiritual master, you should be considered in a diseased stage of spiritual life. Yes? Yes or no? Huh? This is another disease. So we should be careful spiritually. Cannot come for morning program, coming, cannot attend classes, cannot do service, cannot do nothing means what? You know? Disease. No, Prabhu, I have got to work, no. What? Yes. Correct? So if you cannot perform your spiritual duty, you are in a worse disease stage than anything else. Correct? Because then, if you spiritually you cannot do your spiritual duty, then you will be involved in the mode of passion and ignorance. And although you may think yourself as the big doer, anyone in the mode of passion will think what? If you don't go to the office will collapse. That's how he's thinking, correct? Oh, if I don't go to do, if I go, meeting, what? If I am not sitting there, finish. What? Prabhupada also said that peon, the watchman of the factory, he thinks he's so important. Because if I don't open the gate, nobody can work. This is how everybody thinks. In the mode of passion, everybody thinks he's the what? The mover of the whole world. These are all disease conditions. If you are not making plans to become Krishna conscious, you are said to be in a disease condition. Materially you are diseased. So we should be very careful. Correct? It is not something we can joke around, because if we go this direction, we explain what all the faults will come. Yes, and your body will collapse. Body will collapse. Correct? Karma, not messing around. Yes? Karma is what? They are not messing around. If you get into this bad karma, you're going to be crying. Yes? Disease. Now, yeah, you are healthy. When you get older, your body gets into severe diseases, then what? Huh? Correct? So dangerous. So you go and see how people are suffering without so many problems. Yes? Especially when you are what? You have to depend on others. It is explained here. You have to depend on others. It's very miserable. It says here, explained here, my dear Uddhava, that man is certainly most miserable who takes care of a cow that gives no milk, an unchaste wife, a body totally dependent on others. Is that it? Somebody have to clean your backside, somebody have to feed you, somebody, you know how miserable it is? Useless children of wealth not utilized for the right purpose. Similarly, one who studies Vedic knowledge, devoid of my glories, is also most miserable. Don't say, if you are into studying, and you are studying, getting all this material knowledge, and you are not interested in Krishna, you are considered also most miserable. Yes, that's what it is. Yes or not? You see how everything is designed for misery if it is not applied in Krishna consciousness. So please try to understand how we are put into so many disadvantages. If we simply do not take the time to become a devotee of Krishna, there is no hope. That's what? In this way, the conditioned soul becomes the servant of lusty desires, and when they are not fulfilled, it becomes the servant of anger and continues to be kicked by the external energy Maya. Wandering and wandering throughout the universe, he may by chance get the association of a devotee physician, whose instruction and hymns make the witch of the external energy flee. The conditioned soul thus gets in touch with devotional service to Lord Krishna, and this way he can approach nearer and nearer to the Lord. This is the solution. This is the... You cannot try to escape any other way. When they come in contact with the devotees, then their whole life changes. Oh my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of lusty desires. Although I have rendered such desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I am not ashamed to serve them, nor have I desired to give them up. O my Lord, O head of the Yarudanes, recently however my intelligence has been awakened and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of this desire, and I now come to you to surrender myself to your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. This is how we are. We've got devotional service to Krishna is the chief function of the living entity. There are different methods for the liberation of the conditioned soul: karma, jnana, yoga and bhakti. But all others are dependent on bhakti. So this is what we have to do. We just have to try to become, without devotional service, all other methods of spiritual self-realization are weak and insignificant. Unless one comes to the devotional service of Lord Krishna, jnana and yoga cannot give the desired results. When pure knowledge is beyond all material affinity but is not dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, it does not appear very beautiful, although it is knowledge without the material thing. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the beginning and transient by nature? If they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord, how can they be very attractive? So if we don't become devotee, our life is going to be messed up. Now you may be young. Your body is what? A little bit strong. Correct? Yes. Continue taking your time away from Krishna consciousness and engaging in the mode of passion. Then the consequence is going to be, you can see those who are growing. When you hit 30, what happens? When you hit 40, what happens? When you hit 50, what happens? When you hit 60, what happens? Your body. Yes, breaking down. It is what? Can you break down more if you go away from Krishna? Yes. Alright. So we have covered this subject. So we want to be free from this birth, death, old age and disease. Then there's only one way. This is the only way. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decrease the duration of life for everyone, except one who utilize the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of Godhead. This is the only way we can save ourselves. Alright, any comments, questions on this point?
That point that more passion brings about too much activity. But in the devotional thing also, Avyartha Kalatvam is there, not wasting time, and Goswami is used to forget even sleep and they are always very active. So how can that be understood?
Spiritually, we are engaged in Krishna consciousness, then you are not subject to overactivity. When you engage in sense gratification, yes, you do something, misuse your body for your sense pleasure, working as much you like and squeezing as much pleasure out of it, then you're going to be in trouble. But if on the contrary you use the same body for the service of Krishna, then Krishna gives the body more facilities. You understand? It becomes more and more enthusiastic, more energetic, your body becomes more, spiritually strengthened. But if you use it the other way, then Krishna will take away the facility. That's why it says here, when you use your time for discussing topic of own good personality, your life is increased. Yeah? But if you use for your sense gratification, life will decrease. Is it? So we should try to increase, but of course we should be Krishna also said, one should be regulated in your eating, sleeping, mating, defending. We cannot tomorrow become the Goswami, Prabhu, I don't want the houses all, I'll sleep in so many trees. And then you will be picked up and I don't know where you will go. Correct? I'm not going to eat today and try to be artificial yogi. What will happen? Gastric. You cannot try all the gymnastic, understand? You have to gradually, what? Not that is overnight, Yes, it's impossible. The body has to be regulated, it says. You have to what? Regulate the body. I wake up in the morning, can slowly cut down your eating, your sleeping, your mating, your defending. It takes time. It is not like, immediate. So if you can increase more time for Krishna, then your body be subject to more blessings. But if you use your body against the will of Krishna, it's subject to many, many problems. That's the bottom line. That's it. And Prabhupada always wanted to sleep less, eat less, everything, He wanted to conquer sleep, that he used his time. Practically he was waking up at what time? 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock? And translating all night, the whole day, no sleeping. Morning, go walking, come back, morning class, then take shower, then lunch, then you will take rest, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. 2 hours.
3 hours and a half.
So you see how, if you want to be like him, I think you can try. But that's what they want you to work in your workplace for. Don't sleep, overtime after overtime, you get salary. 3 times pay, 4 times pay, correct? Yes, and finally you crash and break your laptop screen. That's what will happen? Yes, crash, it broke. So be careful, this is how we have to understand, especially that verse. Overworking, what happened? Lose your brains. Yes? What? Lose brains. Don't think you can use this body to your sense gratification. Collapse. Correct? Everything is designed for, optimum use. But In Krishna consciousness. Anything other than Krishna consciousness is what? Considered? See, only in Krishna consciousness you can cut down your eating, sleeping, mating, whatever. But you try to do that materially, your body will collapse. Yes? Some guys are playing games, they're playing and playing and playing and playing, it died. Forget to eat, forget to sleep, forget. So many cases, in fact they are banning this gaming thing, ban. Because it's harming the kids. Yes or no?
Yes.
Huh? He's playing 15 hours, 20 hours, days. And he lock in a room, yes? Then of course you have to break open the door and carry his body out. He won the game. Game over. So please think, be careful. If you don't want to increase your Krishna consciousness, you're going to be in a diseased state of life. If you are decreasing your Krishna consciousness means you are getting into disease consciousness. Of course, there will be very good reasons. The reasons for not doing Krishna consciousness will be overwhelmingly good. But if you can overcome, then you are safe. Correct? See, like now, this Saturday, nobody came. Why they are not coming? Oh, Prabhu, the case increased. Huh? One little case increase, everybody knows. I have good excuse, Prabhu. I don't think I don't want to spread the disease. You see how? Suppose you get the disease, then you cannot come anymore. Finish. Then one call will come to us. Prabhu, can you pray for me? Yes? Oh, we should be very strict. That's why the word what? Nishta. What is Nishta? Huh? Fixed up. Every day. Like lines drawn on the stone. What is that? Asma Rekha. Line drawn on the, cannot rub away, cannot. That's how we say we are fixed up. Every day. No question of compromise. That's it called fixed up. Not that you find excuses not to come. That means a disease. That means what? Disease. Yes? We should be understanding this. Alright, thank you very much. Kurantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanandi.